Shalom, shalom, and blessings. Just wanted to bring a few things, few tips and ideas for this spring fever that is going on. If you're like me or many of us who are ready to start gardening and get things done, we are at the point now where we are ready to come out in droves and start planting everything. So a quick tip I wanted to show was I had some of this old fencing left over from a chicken coop build, and what I decided to do was make raised bed garden beds out of them. So I've got a few of these all around the property, just big circles, and I'm starting to fill them up with all the leaves, mulch, some chicken manure, things like that. And we're just starting to fill them up and place them in areas where, right now, I'm placing them in areas where the rain runoff comes. This is actually coming from in our little pathway that goes in between the chicken coop and the dog kennel. The water runs through this way during heavy storms, and it'll run straight down here. As you can see, the dark areas, that's always wet or wet a lot, and even through here. So as this water settles, what'll happen is it'll now run into this garden bed. So that's another way that we can keep this watered without having to waste a lot of water. We may not even have to water this much at all, because as it does rain, this is going to feed it. It's going to naturally get fed, and it's going to go into these leaves. It's going to soak up like a sponge. So there's not going to be much that we have to do with this. And I decided to do all of our raised garden beds like that, or many of them. I'm placing them in spots where the water is coming in automatically. So it's places that we saw would have standing water in big downpours. So we want to catch that water. We want to utilize that water and use it to grow our vegetables, our fruits, and things like that. So I just wanted to give that quick example of that. And I mean, you could use anything to make a raised garden bed. It doesn't always have to be something that is expensive. I have a old door over here, an old gate door that I may break down and use part of that wood to make a smaller raised garden bed for like some herbs and things like that, to grow like basil, chives. I got some onions. I'll show you another idea too that I did with some leaf piles that we had, and we've been raking these leaves up, and now we just allow them to break down naturally. So this pile, can't really tell on the camera, but this pile is about, I want to say probably about 3 feet high, 2.5 to 3 feet. And I mean, I've been piling the leaves here for over a year. So now what I'm doing is taking our potted plants and I'm sticking our potted plants in this, because again, all it's going to do is provide moisture for these plants. And as you can see, we already got onions growing in here. We even have I think that's a celery plant over there that we're going to regrow. And this is some celery that is regrowing as well. So utilize things like this. And as you can see, there's no fencing, there's no boarded, there's no boards around it, no nothing. It's just so I could keep piling these leaves in, and as they break down, that's just going to turn to dirt. That's all it's going to turn into, is dirt. And it's also, again, like I said, it's going to provide moisture capture for these plants, so we don't have to worry about wasting a lot of water. So capture all the water that you can. Be creative. It doesn't have to be all these cute things. As long as your plants survive, that's what you're looking for. And I mean, as you can see already, these plants are looking great. And they're in a spot that is kind of sunny, not always, but I mean, they're beautiful and green. So just think about that. And one of my last tips I have is for the chicken coop run. We'd been hearing the reports, for months, about bird flu and things like that. So we wanted to protect our chickens from the wild birds. The wild birds are where a lot of times you're going to get if you're going to get anything like that, those type of viruses and bacterial infection, they're going to come from the wild birds. And the wild birds like to get into your chicken coop run and get after the feed or whatever, the chickens have uncovered. So, at any given time, there would be, chickadees in here. We would have red birds, blue birds, all types of birds would get in here. So, and I had the top of this open, and I closed that off now. And what we used is this thin netting, which you can get easily Amazon, even at Lowe's or any of your box stores. It's either called deer netting, if you see that, and what we have is bird netting. So it's like real small. I think they're only an inch. The opening is just an inch wide, as you can see there. And that's wrapped. I got this whole coop is wrapped with this, the whole thing, even the top. The top has bird netting all the way across. So and it's perfect. I mean, it's lightweight. It's not going to put a lot of stress on the chicken run itself, but I have it covered, and it comes in 7 feet by 100 feet. So it's perfect for the height of my chicken coop, which is a little over 7 feet, almost 7.5, getting close to 8 feet tall. But, we make up for that where we'll start under this board, right? And go all the way down to the next board. So it fits perfectly. And, like I said, just have the whole thing wrapped. And as you can see, there's no other birds in there but our chickens. That's it. I do have some places back here that I need to cover up. I have the netting already on it. It's just where my door is to get in. So I have to cut and fit that. And then it's sealed. It's sealed completely. But even right now, with over 3/4 of it done, there's no other birds in there but them. And they're happy. They're happy. They're doing their thing. They're making some great compost. This soil in here, chickens, I mean, they really do a very good job. They can till the soil with the best of them. And all of this dirt in here is super soft. It's real spongy. And it's because this is what they do all day. I mean, they eat from it. We put logs in there. I put logs in there. Any of the rotted logs that I find. And they just pick all the insects out of that. They love doing that. We also, like I've said on other videos, I think, we'll get vegetables at times, the scraps from our local grocery store. They give us a big bag or whatever they have available. And we'll take it. We're doing a favor for them. If not, they would have to throw all that stuff out. So we get it and we feed it to our chickens. All the vegetables, the things that they can eat, we put it in here. And of course, they love the corn, but they absolutely love that stuff. And all they do is they keep turning this into compost, turning it. And I keep putting more and more stuff into it, more leaves, just everything. I mean, eventually all of this just breaks down. And soon what I'm going to do is start growing vegetables that will cover this coop with some type of foliage, whether it be cucumbers or, I don't know yet, but I want to have a natural covering from this to protect them from the heat this year. Last year I lost some chickens to the heat, and this year I want to make sure that I don't have that problem again. And that's it. I mean, those are some of the things that you can get done right now before spring really kicks in. And like I said, really think about making these raised garden beds. Here's another one. This is the biggest one that we have. Well, actually, no, it's not. This is the second largest one that we have. And this is probably 10 by 10, 10 feet in diameter. And it's packed with leaves. And again, like I said, we get a whole bunch of the leftover veggies and things like that from the local grocery store. So what we do is we take some of that and we put it in here. I took some of their tomatoes and some of their peppers, things that we like to grow anyway, tossed them in here, and we'll see if it germinates. I mean, if it germinates on its own, that's a blessing. Hallelujah. If it doesn't, all it's going to do is become compost. So it's a win-win. You can't lose if you just try. You can't lose if you just try. And again, this is simple. This is just some old wire, old fencing that I cut down and made about a 3-foot high raised garden bed out of it in just a giant circle. And it was simple. Did it in about 10 minutes. So it's something that anyone can do. It's real simple. And then you just fill it with whatever material you have on hand, all the things that you have around you. And this is perfect because even here we have another compost pile, a huge one. This is probably about, I want to say it's about 20 feet long. And this one is probably about 4.5 feet at this moment. Was a little higher, but of course it's breaking down, so it's getting lower, that's what it's supposed to do. And then we have another here. So we keep compost piles. We keep composting the material around us. As you can see, anything, all the leaves, broken sticks, all of that stuff is perfect for your compost. I know a lot of people won't use it, but we do, because we also introduce nitrogen into it so that it helps break this down, and we keep giving it greens and browns. Anything that's living inside of the brown, it's oh man, just keep feeding this thing and it'll keep breaking down. That's all it does. And also too, with the netting, it keeps our chickens inside safely. We're probably about 200 feet away from a nest site for red-tailed hawks, and we have never lost a chicken to red-tails. Even before I put this netting up, we never lost them. We have dogs also, so the dogs help out tremendously. I didn't think they would, as far as keeping predators down as far as birds, but they do. They for whatever reason, they won't come around. But and like I said, they're just 200 feet away in a tall tree, and we see them feeding there all the time, raising young year after year, and we haven't had any problems. But those are just some tips and things that you can do. I pray that y'all have a blessed day. Get gardening, grow some food, grow your own. Don't wait. You see what is going on, especially if you are a Hebrew. There should be no reason that you aren't doing these things yourself. So I'm gonna get back to work, but I pray y'all have a blessed day, and I pray that you wake up to the things that are going on around you and get growing. If you raise your own animals, raise your own food, grow your own food, whatever happens out there, is it going to affect you the way that it's going to affect those who unfortunately are trapped in cities? We see what is going on with that, and we see the consequences of that. So if you can, get your acre of land, a half acre. If you're a family of 4, you can live on a half acre of land with no problem and grow all the food you need for your family. But we got to get growing. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.